My wife received flowers every Friday afternoon, but the card was always missing before I saw it. At 43 years old, I finally started paying attention. Last Friday, I got home much earlier than usual. When I read the card, my heart completely dropped. Hey everyone, welcome to Behind Dad. If you enjoy revenge stories, make sure to subscribe to my new channel, Revenge Power, for more shocking, emotional, and mind-blowing stories like this one. The link is in the description. Go check it out and support the channel. That Friday afternoon became the day my entire world turned upside down. For the past several months, beautiful flower arrangements had been arriving at our house like clockwork every Friday between 2 and 3 p.m. My wife Lisa would always accept them with a soft smile. But by the time I returned from work in the evening, the card was nowhere to be found. At first, I didn't think much of it. I assumed they were from her office colleagues or a thoughtful friend. But something about the way she quickly hid the card and changed the subject made me suspicious. I was a devoted husband. I worked hard as a senior accountant, provided a comfortable life for our family, and still made time for date nights and family vacations. We had 2 wonderful children and what I believed was a solid marriage. But lately, Lisa had been distant, always on her phone, quick to dismiss questions, and spending more time away from home. That Friday, I left work early, parked a few houses away, and waited. When the delivery man arrived, I watched Lisa sign for the flowers with a secretive smile. After she went inside, I quietly entered through the back door. The card was still on the kitchen counter. When I read it, my heart completely dropped. The message was intimate, passionate, and definitely not from a friend or colleague. It said, "Can't stop thinking about last night. Can't wait for tomorrow. Love you more than he ever could." Signed with the initial M. My hands started shaking as I stood there in the kitchen. I took a photo of the card with my phone and put it back exactly where I found it. When Lisa came back into the kitchen, she looked surprised to see me home early. "You're back already?" she asked with a nervous smile. I just nodded and said I finished work early. I acted completely normal, but inside I was breaking apart. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every recent moment. The late nights she said she was working, the new perfume she started wearing, the way she smiled at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. I had ignored all the signs. At 43, I thought our marriage was solid. We had built a beautiful home, raised 2 great kids, and shared many happy memories. But now I realized I had been living in a lie. The next few days, I stayed quiet and observed everything. I installed a small hidden camera in the living room and started checking her phone when she was asleep. The messages I found confirmed everything. The man she was seeing was someone from her office named Mark. They had been meeting regularly for months. The pain was overwhelming, but I decided I wouldn't explode in anger. I needed time to think and plan my response carefully. I spent the next week gathering solid evidence, printing messages, taking screenshots, and documenting every flower delivery with dates and photos. I also spoke to a lawyer quietly to understand my options for divorce and custody. The following Friday, another bouquet arrived as usual. This time I was home early again. When Lisa went to the bathroom, I replaced the card with one I had written myself. My message was simple and direct. I know everything. Tonight we talk. When Lisa read the new card, her face went pale. She looked at me with wide, terrified eyes. "What is this?" she whispered. I stayed calm and said, "We need to talk about Mark." She started crying and tried to deny it at first, but when I showed her the printed messages and photos, she broke down completely. She admitted the affair had been going on for almost 6 months. She said she felt neglected because I worked too much, and that Mark made her feel alive again. I listened without interrupting, then told her I was filing for divorce and seeking primary custody of the children. The look on her face was one I will never forget. The next few weeks were painful, but necessary. Lisa begged for forgiveness and promised to end the affair immediately. She cried every day and said it was a terrible mistake, but the trust was completely broken. I moved into the guest room and continued gathering evidence for the divorce. Mark contacted me once trying to apologize. I told him to stay away from my family. The children were confused and hurt, but I tried my best to protect them from the worst details. During the divorce process, Lisa realized how much she had lost. She had thrown away a good marriage for a temporary thrill. I didn't take pleasure in her pain, but I also didn't forgive easily. I made sure the divorce settlement was fair, but protected what I had worked for. The most important thing was keeping the children safe and stable. Through it all, I remained calm and dignified. I had learned that sometimes the strongest response to betrayal is quiet strength and clear boundaries. Months later, the divorce was finalized. Lisa moved out, and the children stayed with me most of the time. She was allowed visitation, but the respect and love we once had were gone. I focused on being the best father I could be. I took the kids on trips, helped with homework, and made sure they felt loved and secure. Slowly, life started feeling normal again. I even started dating casually, but I was careful with my heart. Lisa tried to reconcile several times, but I told her some things cannot be undone. The affair and the lies had broken something permanently. She eventually accepted the new reality and became a better mother. The experience taught me many lessons at 43. I learned to trust my instincts, to value myself, and to never ignore red flags in a relationship. I also learned that sometimes walking away with dignity is the best revenge. Today, I live a peaceful and fulfilling life with my children. I am stronger, wiser, and more careful with who I trust. The pain of betrayal taught me the importance of self-respect and boundaries. I continued focusing on my career and being present for my kids. They adjusted well to the new normal and seemed happier with the stability I provided. Lisa eventually found some peace in her own life and became more responsible as a mother. We co-parented civilly, but the romantic love we once shared was gone forever. The experience changed me deeply. I became more observant in all my relationships and learned to value actions over words. I started exercising regularly, picked up new hobbies, and built a small circle of trusted friends. At 43, I discovered that sometimes the end of one chapter opens the door to a better one. The betrayal, while painful, ultimately made me a stronger, wiser man. Today, I live a peaceful and fulfilling life with my children. I am stronger, wiser, and more careful with who I trust. The pain of betrayal taught me the importance of self-respect and boundaries. If you are watching this and you suspect something is wrong in your marriage, trust your gut. Don't ignore the signs. Protect yourself and your children. If this story touched you or reminded you of your own experiences with betrayal, drop your honest thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. If this story moved you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your share might help another person find the courage to face the truth. Thank you so much for watching Behind Dad. Real love should never make you question your worth. I'll see you in the next story. Stay strong. Trust your instincts, protect your peace, and never be afraid to walk away from disrespect.